use that to connect to us. Or maybe that scratch is just a pure amount of energy going against energy and ripping it. Saying, hey, I'm here. Does anybody know what the 3 marks or 3 scratch marks are?
People say they represent the Trinity.
Excellent.
Or
yes.
mocking.
They're mocking the Trinity.
Of the Trinity, right.
Exactly. So be aware of that too. It's usually a good sign of a negative demon. However I say it, my good associate Casey's taught me a lot in the last 6 weeks. I will say, I do believe now there's positive and negative demons. Not all demons are negative. Just be aware of that. Can the sun or solar flares affect what we're doing now? Yes. Yes, it can. In fact, let's all raise our hands for shadow people. Shadow people. This is a theory. The sun reflective solar rays, with its radiation, is pulling something through one plane into our plane. That's where we're able to see it. That's one theory. The other theory is there's documentation over hundreds and thousands of years on walls of shadow people. They've been here before us. They will be here when we're gone. That's one of those theories, I'm going to be honest with you, you cannot prove. But you can have a theory of what's taking place, what you're seeing. Again, shadow people can also be that person, what I told you about at the beginning. Projecting your eyes. Remember, we have the ability, all of us, not just one individual, we all have the ability of some sort of, let's use the word power, we'll use that word, inside of us. Can we project? Can we move? Can we do? Yeah, absolutely. We are only using 10% of this bad boy, and there's no telling if we use the potential. Einstein used 35% and he was clinically insane. Nikola Tesla used 42% of his brain. What happened to him? He was put in an insane asylum and he died from insanity. So just take care of what you're thinking about when you're in the field.
I'm around 7.5.
Yeah. 6.5. No. So, the physical plane and things that are taking place right now are making a difference of what we're doing. Okay? Electromagnetic fields, the polar fields changing, our atmosphere is changing, what we're doing is changing, it's affecting our equipment, it's affecting us. If you believe in psychics, it's increasing their ability. If you don't, then it's affecting your equipment or affecting you sickly. And you have all these companies mining you for uranium. It's opening up something to think about. Something else to think about when you're on investigation. If you have the ability, take a look around. Where's your radio stations? Where's your cell towers? What's around you? We've utilized Blade Runner cinematics. It's a platform camera system that goes 120 feet up in the air. You can take a rotisserie flyer to where it wants and come back down to us and give us the complete layout of location. If you see the video that we did for Angel, you'll see the platform in action. It's a really good piece of equipment. Think about what's around you when you're doing it, because they make a big effect, a huge effect of what's going on. Do we have the ability to communicate with the afterlife? You know, that's a personal belief. Some believe there's no way. Some others do. Some go, it's a sin. Don't do it. Others go, you speak with God. Jesus spoke with Michael. Your belief. There's other religions. I'm not going to get into that. That's my good old friend here. I'll be talking about that later. But the items we use to do that are so simple. But how do we get it? Again, what I just talked about, the radio stations, the cell phone towers. The reason I pull these out is because these can affect our equipment. We could be thinking we're hearing something and we're not. We're hearing a conversation that might be 50 miles away from the cell phone. Ironic, it might be communicating with us. But nevertheless, thinking and understanding that everything is going to have a reaction to what we do. Something else that came up in conversation again last night when we first got here, and during that time, Teresa and Ben from Virginia Beach were up here with Angel, and John was here, and they came down from Major Richard's room, and we were talking, and they said, you know, it was almost like they were answering before we said anything. We've experienced this ourselves. Do spirits have the ability to connect with us mentally before we speak? It's theory. It's a theory I believe. I've just started stepping into this theory. I believe it so. I believe they have the ability to
Bless you.
communicate with us or understand what we're about to say or feel prior to us saying it. Pardon me. So take that into effect. Try your experiments. When you get in the field, don't say anything. Try that. Go old school with this stuff. Don't, a lot of people use the Ouija board. Use it, burn it, but people around me. I don't like it. But there's other things that you can do. You want to communicate it? Technically, Ouija boards, we're using the avatar, or you're using a voice box. It's the same thing, people. We're communicating still with them. Be aware that's what you're doing. So be aware to take the circumstances and the situation that may occur afterwards. What I would suggest is get you a platform, like a slick surface, put some oil on it, put a magnet on it, do it scientifically. Ask a question, will that thing move? If they have the true ability, which I'm getting ready to go into, of magnetic ability to manipulate, that thing will move. Scientific theory. Think about the scientific parts about it, not just the spiritual part. That's a piece of equipment I'm working with now. Communication. Give it an answer. Ask it. Can you say yes, no? Can you see me? How can I see you? How can I communicate to you? How can you communicate to me? These are all thoughts and theories you need to think about when we're doing this. I also feel that they can communicate to us. I feel I can communicate to them, but I need to know how. And you as, researchers, investigators, or just novelists, I'm sure you want to know, how can you do this? How can I communicate to you and how can you communicate to me? Find that way. Find that way. It's going to make a big difference. As far as touching, maybe attaching itself to a person. Theory? Yes. Or is it written? Yes. Documentation after documentation. An entity attaches itself to a person and goes to another place. That is with it when it gets there. How does it do that? Have you ever thought about it? How does that spirit or entity notice? Let me say one thing. Have you heard me say ghost? I do not believe in that term. I think it's overrated. I don't use it. How does it attach itself? We have magnetic forces in our body. If it's truly an energy source, it can attach itself to your energy life form and travel with you. Blessing, power, asking, whichever you wish to believe, may persuade it to not, but you cannot tell her what it can't do. Clergy can, no. There's been documentation. You're going to go and live. I'm going to come to you and I'm going to say, I can cure you. I can cure you today. I didn't cure you. Who cured you? You did. You have the power in your own self to take care of the situation. But you have to believe. You have to believe. Angel asked me a question last week. Sometimes I wear a black obsidian. Why are you wearing that? She knows me all too well. So it's a little extra. Do you really need it? No, not really. I mean, any ghost that's going to come near me, spirit, entity, it's going to go, oh, hell no. That chair's messed up in your head. But I know I have faith and I'm strong in what I do. And it knows when I'm there. And I'll use an example. Ashley, Misty, does it know when I'm here? They know when we're all here. When you get with people, a dynamic situation can take effect. Partner your partners up wisely because it can push away as long as there's a track. Just be aware of it. That's how they attach itself. It's up to us to reject it, to keep it away from us. But yes, it can attach itself. It does have that ability. And that's how we also feel those touches. If you've been touched, Okay, let's go. I love to make my crew laugh on this one. Females, bear with me. It's coming. Touching. Okay. The bust lifted, the butt lifted, touched, handprints, arm touch, shoulder touch, head touch, hair mess. They have to be able to do it somehow. They use
Energy.
what kind of energy? Electromagnetic forces.
Okay.
That's the only thing that will retract against the human body, physically without touch. It's electromagnetic. And sometimes that's maybe why you're killing them and they go wacky. Because if there's enough in your center, you can whack out your own equipment. You can also give your own self false readings. You can image and project your thoughts onto your equipment. Like the novelist, it's saying a lot of things, but do you have 100% sure that the novelist is not speaking what you're thinking? Just a thought. Just something to think about. Look from both ends. That's what I'm going to close this up with. I want you all to walk away with one thing. Hey, Howie, he went down the middle. Spiritual. Scientific. Where are you? Where are you in this community? Are you this way, or are you this way, or are you in the middle? I like to take my group and we take it down the middle. There's not too much spiritualism, but there's not too much scientific. I believe that's how you're going to get a full spectrum of what you do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming here to speak. I appreciate you. Thank you.
We would have taught the middle path.